Hi, it's Patrick Gamble. I'm an artist. I've been an artist for over 27 years. I paint a lot of different subjects. I use a lot of different mediums in my work. But what I want to talk about today is the importance or the power of a vision. I guess I've come to learn about the skill, if you like, or the value because of being an artist. Uh, I kind of see outwardly, inwardly. I have thoughts, I have dreams, and all these elements represent of being able to hold an image. But we'll call it the vision. The vision, I guess, has been, we can read stories and we can watch films, very magical films, about, people receiving a vision, or people that have a power to receive a vision. I think we all have that power. I don't think it's selective. It's just that we also have a logical mind, and that logical mind um, probably labels it as imagination. And these are labels because the mind needs labels. It needs labels for the filing cabinet to put it into, because once we can kind of file it, we kind of know where it fits, and it kind of tidies our head up. If we can't kind of find a place for it, we don't really know what to do with it, and we kind of call it imagination, fantasy, something that's not real. But the importance of the vision is really important. I don't mind people that may wish to call it imagination, because you see, imagination is a little bit like a bridge. On one side we have our logical mind that's trying to reason with the physical world, and on the other side of that bridge we have the subconscious, if you like. We have the other space that's just linked to intuition. It's an awareness, the sixth sense, if you like. I think they're all interwoven within this. So the vision has been used back through the ages. And as I said, you can see this in filmmaking and stuff like that, in old films and magical films. But it's been used through the ages, and it's kind of like, I guess we do kind of put it down to the wizards or the shamans. The shamans from the Native American and also the African. There are shamans from all around the world, of different cultures, different tribes, and sometimes we can fall into the vision. Sometimes a vision can be provoked through something extreme. And it's kind of like, it will put us into that deeper subconsciousness. We can even read it in the Bible, in certain paragraphs in the Bible, of a vision, whether of angels or powers or light. Yeah, they're there, and so they all carry these aspects through time. It even comes into modern day with athletes. Athletes will visualize themselves, whether they are footballers or skiers, whatever sport that they're undertaking. They will walk around the track, and they will try to kind of memorize this track, of course, and walk around it. And then they'll actually sit and visualize themselves going around this course, following this route pathway, and actually overcoming, working with that. In actual fact, they take it a step further because they visualize themselves winning, and they visualize themselves going faster and bringing those elements into play. So the importance is so valuable. So I guess this all triggered off with my vision paintings, if you like, and I suppose exercising the element of holding a vision. Now that's not always easy for people, because we're all dealing with life, whether it's family or health or finances, just coping, getting through, overcoming. And I suppose the world in which we live, our pattern basically is, for some of us is to get up in the morning and to go to work and then come home and then deal with the family. We may have stress because we don't have work. So we have these elements of our own society, of the world we live in, that create pressures and strains. So it's not, we have all this confusion that's going on in the mind. But I guess, again, practicing, we can learn to hold something else within the challenges and to work with that. Now, the brain, I kind of, we know the brain is like a computer, and it's and it has a mindset and these aspects that come into play. And I talk about this in other videos and workshops and stuff like where, a mindset is a valuable thing. And when a mindset is set in place, my goodness me, it can really work. It can really create the magic, which is what we're all aiming for in a way. But we also have this element where the mindset isn't creating the desired life that we wish, or it's not creating the changes because our mind is too involved in the challenges and the struggles and the difficulties, which we still have to deal with, by the way. Holding a vision doesn't mean it makes our challenges disappear, but it's about holding that positive source of energy. Now, with the mind and with the brain, I've come to learn that some people are what I call word people, and the importance of words, which for all of us are very much there. And so there are word people that are extremely word people, but I myself I'm an image person, and words, even though I'm here talking my words, it's something that I've had to work at quite a lot. And I guess I'm talking my experiences that make it easier for me. But there are word people, and words that people that work very much with that, whether it's speaking or writing. We learn by reading. I don't personally read a lot, just because of my makeup and who I am. I guess in a way, I had learning difficulties when I was younger. And I guess it made it very difficult for me, and I to some degree I wish my education was better. So the written word is quite difficult for me. Believe it or not, the spoken word is also quite challenging. But it's something we all have to work at and come through. So learning can come through very much through reading, absorbing that. For me, it doesn't seem to work too great. My learning comes from images. So if I'm learning through images stronger, I guess there's other people that would learn the same way. Which is kind of like, and when I'm working with my mind, my intuitive mind or my subconscious mind, I guess when I'm asking, asking is an interesting thing because it's linked with prayer, power of thought, these aspects that go out. I'm better off receiving an image placed within my head. So it's like someone coming to teach me. They could come with a big manual, a big book of writing, and I have to read it. Or they could come and actually physically show me, or even show me pictures of what it is. I would learn more from the pictures and those elements coming into play than I would from reading. But I guess if I'm honest about it, there's still a combination of both. It's just that the pictures are probably 85%, and the words are 15 to 20%. So I guess on both ways, there may be people that are very much word people that would learn from the image. I guess when it gets into holding a vision, it's been magnified because of the paintings. I paint in a number of different ways. I teach people to paint by holding a vision and working through. I guess it's also that it helps me to overcome my struggles in life, about holding a positive. So whether we're holding, to hold a positive, how do we hold that? How do we see that? Because you see, for me, I don't I don't actually see holding a vision is like holding a word. I don't see it as that. I see holding an image of a positive energy is magnified, and it's and working with people. You see, working with people along the way. I and people that are struggling with a particular situation in life, holding that image is, gosh, it creates change. We talk about cosmic ordering. We gotta kind of live a situation for it to manifest, if you like. So the importance of holding that image is tenfold, and we still have to deal with the challenges in life. They don't get taken away. But holding a vision, you see, we can get so involved in the challenge, whether it's a physical challenge, which can also lead to anxiety, depression, negativity. We can lose our self-esteem, our self-belief, our confidence because of the challenges, or a person. A person can take away our values. It can take away our spark. So there's lots of things that it's not just life. I suppose life involves people and challenges and situations, but we have to replenish that. And I was only talking to someone yesterday about holding the vision, holding the image. Regardless, you cannot deal with a negative situation with a negative energy, because all that does is magnify. It makes it tenfold. So we can't really get into that, you see. It's quite a complex thing. It's almost like, I guess in some ways, this is what I've been taught, you see, that we have our conscious mind, which is our logical thinking, that is trying to tidy up our life and put things in order. It's a learning mind to a degree. And it needs that aspect of logic to work with. But then we also have our subconscious mind, which is linked to intuition. It's the psyche. It's the cosmic ordering element. The only thing with the subconscious, it cannot tell the difference between what we want and what we do not want. So when when life is beautiful, our focus is on the beauty of life. So that is the message we are giving to our subconscious. And therefore the subconscious brings more of it on. The other thing is that when we're dealing with a challenge or a negativity, regardless of where that comes from, if we focus on the negative and that negative focus gets sent to the subconscious, then actually the subconscious thinks we want it. Now I know that is crazy, but if we can get our thoughts and energy around that, we can also see that this element, that the powerful signal of life is overcome. The powerful signal of that situation is coming into play. So we can actually see that and work with that. And it creates this positive source. Like attracts like. That's the simple element of explaining it in a way. I guess in a way we're not always, I know if you take me back probably 20 years ago, my awareness was not the same as it is now. And it's kind of in a way where I've trained myself to hold on to these positive elements. I've trained myself to work in that way of actually holding those positives within the challenges of life. No, it's not easy. For 1 minute here, I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, because when life is slapping you around the face, it's hard not to respond to being slapped around the face. So we get involved in that, and we can in some ways return the slap of life. So we're not only being hurt by it, we're actually becoming like it. But it does take practice. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is, gosh, it creates such response. How long do we have to hold a positive energy? Well, this can sometimes be, to start with, it's very much a 24/7 thing, because we have to kind of take it as a way of life. You see, if we do it, if we start doing it, we've got this exercise to do about holding a positive image. And so if we hold it for a day, will that change things? No, no, it won't. We have to hold it 24/7 for a period of time. When life starts to turn a circle and more of that balance of harmony comes into play, then we can relax the practice. But there may come a time again that we may have to strengthen that practice and get more involved in it again. I guess for myself, I kind of work in this way where I know what I've got to do, and when there's a challenge, I have to be very, very disciplined in holding that positive energy. But when life gets sweeter and more gentle, and then I can relax it. And I'm more, because when life is sweet, you know, my thoughts are sweet. It's a natural place to be. You know, when there's turmoil in life, my mind can become more turmoil. And therefore, it's like the negative gets fed more. We don't mean to. It's not an intentional thing. But it's quite a human thing to do in order to get involved in the negative. And we have to be careful that we do not actually become the negative and magnify it so much. It's the same with people. Sometimes when people behave in a certain way, we retaliate by being the same way. And life can also be the same. You know, we get into this situation where we don't really, we change. So one thing is changing in a positive way, which is how it should be. But there's another element where it can change in a negative element. So to hold a vision, you know, for me painting, I may hold a vision of a stag or a horse or a wizard or a Native American, or it's the sun rising. And positive energy is, you know, it's using, I suppose, something symbolic that carries value to you. For myself, I'm a summer person. I don't deal with the winters so well because I like the long days. And I know there's people that love the winter, so that kind of works for them. But I love the sun coming up, and I love the warmth of that sun, and I love new growth as well. You know, when things start entering into spring, we have all these new shoots, all the little plants, the leaves, everything's coming out, colour. So I kind of love that time. So I see the sun coming up in the morning and creating this beauty, this wonder, and the birds singing and the animals coming out to play. That's the sort of image that I will hold. I will hold positiveness. I hold on to happiness when I'm dealing with immense struggle, challenges. You know, I do say to people that to hold, you know, it's energy. You know, we need energy. And you know, when we struggle with life and challenges, there's always an exchange. And the exchange is it takes away our energy. You know, it can heighten emotion, anxiety, anxiousness. So it takes away our happiness and replaces it with sadness. So the one key thing we need in amongst all this is energy. Energy is, while we have a lot of energy, we bounce. I say there's two sorts of challenges. One challenge is the sprint, which we have to hit head on, and we have to deal with it. And then we get through it, and we can actually collapse at the end of a sprint because we've kind of finished the race. We've done it, and now we can kind of recover. But there's other sorts of challenges that can be a bit of a marathon. So we have to be a bit careful within these long-term challenges, and the importance of holding a positive energy can be very testing, but it's so valuable still to do, because going back to the saying, like attracts like. If we get too involved in the challenge, then we are attracting more of a challenge. That's why sometimes it's what I call the clusters. The clusters come where, you know, we kind of get problems all at once. And because our mind is more involved in our challenges than it is in the positives around us. Now, I know for some people it's hard to find a positive in life, but we have to start. It's the seed of vision is actually to hold something positive and let it grow within you. It's such a powerful influence. It radiates, it's like rays of sun actually coming from you. You know, in my past, I've met some wonderful, wonderful people. And I've met people with this amazing energy. Now, amazing energy has got nothing to do with the physical appearance. It's got literally nothing to do. You know, we could say it's to do with someone that's charismatic. It's a charisma. It's something they have, and it so intrigues me how these people are holding this energy. You know, and the other thing, it's so important to hold a smile. I suppose a lot of us learn to put the face on, the happy face, because it's also about promoting positive energy. And it's not only that, for other people, they have their own challenges to deal with anyway. So they don't always want to hear the challenges of others or the negativity of others, especially when they're holding themselves together. They have no space for it, but they have space for positiveness. They have space of this shining this light. So it's very, very important. So I just wanted to do this short video about the power of vision and its importance. When people are faced with depression, negativity, then it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. And you know, a dark space can become darker unless we allow some light in. And the discipline, which is something that's really important, because you know, there's two words that are important, I guess, when we want to change life, and that is consistency and the element of holding this positive thought. And we need discipline for that. Discipline and consistency. And every day of every week of every month, we have to hold and promote that positiveness in amongst the challenge. And for 1 minute, you know, I put my hands up and say, I know. I mean, I've been there. I've been there myself. I've had to hold a positive energy for 5 or 6 months. And I know my energy was getting lower and it was getting down. But you still have to hold that positive energy, because nothing stays the same. You know, like life can be very blissful, and then we wake up in the morning and we're faced with a challenge. Life changes. Now, when we're in a challenge, we see that life is just terrible and it's going to be terrible, and how do I get out of this and how do I overcome it? But nothing stays the same. So you can quicken the pace through the challenge by holding a positiveness. So I kind of I hope I'm shining a little bit of light onto this. There is a simpleness to it. There is a way in which we can restore our energy, because when energy gets low, what do? How do we charge our own batteries when life is not great? That's for another video. If you don't mind, if you would subscribe. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so I'm kind of learning along the way. And so if you could subscribe, that'd be great. And I thank you for that. And until the next one, take care, God bless, and thank you. Bye.